All right, so in today's video, we're going to take a look at some of the models that I brought back from my last trip from London. And we managed to get these safely through airport security onto the airplane and back to the United States, I think, in one piece. So if you got nothing else to do today, we'll go ahead and take a look at these and see what we got. So normally I only purchase typically only purchase Bachmann Branchline stuff just because I have the least issues with them. But this time I decided to take a look at these Oxford Rail MK3A passenger coaches because they were 30 pounds, and with the exchange rate right now I thought, it's a pretty good deal. Why not give them a whirl? So I managed to get two second open passenger cars and a first open, and unfortunately I wasn't able to find the matching. I believe there's a matching buffet car that goes along with these, but I didn't see that at the store. I stopped by a store called Invicta Rail in a town called Sidcup, and the owner was a super nice lady. We spent some time chit-chatting, and I came home with some cool stuff. So let's take a look at these. I took a brief look at it while I was at the hotel, and the detail looked pretty nice. So the parts feel a little bit delicate, but we'll take a look, see what we got going on here. All right, so we got your pretty standard ice cube packaging here, some detail parts. Now the thing about these detail parts, as much as I like them, if they go near the couplings, I tend not to put them on because they'll inevitably cause the coupler to jump or get stuck, and that will end up leading to the wagon or the passenger car derailing. Let's go ahead and stick these over here. And go ahead and bring this up a little closer. Take a look at that. Not bad. Look at the wheels. You can see the holes on the brake calipers to keep the brakes cool. Yeah, really nice job on the detailing. Go ahead and lock the camera in here. Now, you'll note that these are MK3As as opposed to MK3s, and the difference between the two is that there's buffers attached, and in the case of the Oxford Rail, they're non-removable. And so these would have been local hauled as opposed to, say, for example, the bufferless models, the MK3s, which would have been pulled by, something like a Class 43 HST. But overall, looks pretty good. The only thing I don't like on here, since I've never owned Oxford Rail, is these. I mean, I don't want to, give these guys a bad name or anything, but the couplings here are kind of janky. So it's like underneath there's like a V-shaped, the plastic feels kind of light, and there's a V-shaped part, and I bet you if that sucker broke, it'd be a real nightmare to fix. It doesn't feel particularly strong. Other than that, though, everything else looks okay. The parts, a lot of separately fitted parts, as you can see here. Real nice job. I'm going to be honest, probably off camera once I'm done here, I'm going to get out some Tamiya glue, as I love to do, and I'll probably add some extra glue onto these parts, because when you have this many separately added detail parts, inevitably you're going to have some that, like especially, yeah, you can almost see that this one's a little bent. These separately added parts are inevitably going to end up on the layout, so I'll probably re-glue most of this in just to ensure that we don't lose any pieces. And in fact, Actually, I cheated and I opened up the I think it was the first class open coach and noticed that there's already a part that's missing. So I sent an email to Oxford Rail in hopes that they have a detail pack they can send me, but I'm not holding my breath. Top looks real good. Yeah, so overall, nice passenger coach. You can see here I have another second open, and the only difference between the two that I can tell is that the numbers are different. So this one we've got, we've got the, come on camera, the 10268, and on this one we got the 12070. Excuse me, I think I said the number wrong. Yeah, 12068 and a 12070. Those are going to look pretty cool in the layout. Since the only other variants I have of these is some old Lima coaches, and they're I've been looking on eBay for like a year now for this gray and blue livery, and nothing has really come up. You can order from the UK over here, but the shipping tends to be almost as much as the wagons or the coaches are. It's just not always worth it. So in this one, same thing, detail pack, same deal. Doesn't look too much different. Kind of excited to get these because I have a class 47 and I think these will look really good against. Let me just check the ice cube here, make sure no parts have fallen off. Now we'll toss that over there. And here's the first class variant with the yellow stripe along the top. Nice. Kind of zoom in a little closer. I mean, the detail's fantastic. Compared to the stuff that I grew up with when I was a kid, you would never have this level of detail in a model. Really is incredible what they're able to do these days. Not really sure what those stickers are. Is that maybe no smoking stickers? Yeah, on the how I'd mentioned part was missing. It was on the second open coach. I guess it's good that I have two. This little part right here. Let me get my pointing stick. My blue one's in the hobby room, but this right here was missing on the other one, and it wasn't in the box. It wasn't in the plastic shell. I checked everywhere. It looks like it just wasn't added at the factory, and so I'm really hoping Oxford Rail will come through and send me a detail pack. Look at the detailing on that. I don't know if these are just like a machine that stamps these, or somebody has to put these little details on individually with a paintbrush, but it just blows my mind. Super cool. Are all the steps in place? Yep, but look, see? This is the type of thing I'm talking about. Look how that one's starting to come off. So let's get that back in the hole. That's why I'll probably run that with a little Tamiya glue to make sure these don't come off. I mean, the separately detailed parts are great, right? Especially when you're doing Instagram pictures. But unfortunately, they're just as the other ladder on there. Yeah, they're bound to come off, and so it's just worth taking some time to glue them all in. Once that Tamiya glue's on there, should be a spokesperson for them. But as much as I talk about it, they're not going to come off. Stick that over there. So the next thing that we got are these platform tractors. So I know for my British viewers, this is probably not a big deal. They're so easy to find over there. But for me, these guys are, I mean, you will just not find these in the States. And it's so cool to have them on my layout now. When I was a kid, my brother and I used to call these meep meep cars because they would always, you know, for how small they are, they really haul when they're on the platform. And there's always some guy just meep meep. They used to crack me up when I was a kid. Thought they were cool. So, and I got some brute trolleys too, so it's going to look really nice on the new platforms that I just built. And then These you can find in the States. This is not hard to find. The reason why I picked these up is because I'm creating a station terminus on the new layout. It's loosely modeled. If you just take King's Cross and Paddington and put them together, that's kind of what I'm going for. I'm not really modeling specifically after one or the other, but at the end of King's Cross, where the trains would stop at the station, they had some fencing there that was red. And although this is not exactly the same, I think once it's painted red, it'll look pretty close. So that's going to go at the end of the line. All right, so this was kind of interesting since most of the boxes you saw on camera were these guys here. These are the MK1 MPVs, the CCTs used for parcels. And when I was going through the store at Invicta, I came across this guy. Just looked a little bit different, and it was kind of at the back of the shelf, and I thought 20 pounds. So I picked this one up, and it's a sliding door box fan. These are pretty hard to come across over here. Pull this guy out. And why I liked it was two things. One is, whoops, let's get the camera back over here. One was the wheels. So look, they turn. It's kind of interesting. So none of my rolling stock has anything like that. So that was kind of cool. And it was yellow along the top. Now I'm not an expert in the history of these things, but I assume when they were transitioning from typical British Rail blue to that sort of semi-privatized state, or sectorization, I think is what they called it. I think rail freight had a symbol that was like a gray and yellow, and I wonder if this was them kind of starting to transition to that color. I don't know. Let me know below. I'm still learning, so, but yeah, pretty cool looking. Details aren't anything to call home about. The buffer sprung? No. No detailed parts for this one, but I mean, for the most part, once these are hooked up on the layout, you're not really going to see in between the wagons. And we've got some basic typical factory weather going on here. And then last but not least, we've got the MK1 NPV express parcels, and apparently this was produced exclusively for Invicta Model Rail. It's weird because I could have swore I saw these at Hatton's, but I wonder if it the ones at Hatton's I don't think said parcels on them, and I don't think they were weathered either, so maybe that's what makes them exclusive. I don't know. Let's take a look. Get out of there. Oh, cool. So this one has some detail parts. I'll usually, as much as possible, try to put the detail parts on. So on my locos, typically one side of the loco I'll put the detail parts on, and then the other side I'll just leave it as is. But the problem with rolling stock like this, let's get this open here, is that especially like brake lines, when they hang down, gets in the way of the couplers. So let's take a look at this guy. So yeah, you can see there's the factory pre-drilled holes, which look pretty nice. But if I was, you could probably attach the detail parts. Get my pointing stick here. You could probably attach the detail parts up here. Possibly some here, not the brake, the primary brake hose that goes here. The brake hose and the I think it's like a hook that goes here. You wouldn't, oops, sorry about that. The main brake line and the hook that goes here, you really wouldn't want to attach that if you're going to use these style of tension couplers, because as soon as this moves, they're just going to hit, and usually it'll cause it to get stuck, and then I have powered points, and it'll usually cause a short, just ends up causing problems. So I probably won't put it on Probably won't put it on these. You know, I wish there was an aftermarket for detail parts that were made out of rubber. I kind of feel like if they were rubberized, you know, although that might be a little more difficult to put in, then they would just kind of, you know, flick over the top. But this hard plastic tends to hold these couplers in place, which results in derailment. So I don't know, maybe there is an aftermarket for rubberized detail parts. If there is, let me know, because I'll jump all over that. Take a look at the side here. Now again, these are not exactly to my era. I just thought they were super cool. I really like the blue, the older blue livery, but I think they stopped using these towards the late 60s, early 70s. Again, some super nice detailing there. The print is really, really clear. Brute circuit only, huh? I'm assuming that has something to do with the brute trolleys that you see on platforms, but I'm not sure. And then it's kind of mirrored on the other side. Love it. It's going to look great on the layout. Alright, so I guess my camera decided to die out right at the end of the video. So that's pretty much it for today. I'll go ahead and switch to some footage of these guys moving around the layout. And coming up in the next week or two, I'll have a Helgen Royal Mail locomotive that's going to get a teardown, decoder install and lubrication, and a brand new Class 47, which is quite a bit different than the old Class 47 that I broke down and did a service on about a year ago. So looking forward to doing those and showing you updates on the layout. Till next time, thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.
That's Caledonia Road Station. Must be a Piccadilly line.